You ever walk into a room and instantly
realize the person who's supposed to love you the most is actually your biggest embarrassment? That's what happened when I met my boyfriend's parents for the first time. But instead of standing up for me, he buried himself in his phone and left me to carry every conversation alone. That's when I realized my silent revenge would be walking AON, letting him drown in the mess he made. If you've ever been underestimated, disrespected, or left hanging by someone who swore they cared about you, this story is going to hit hard. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into how one ruined weekend became the most satisfying breakup of my life. I had been dating my boyfriend, let's call him Jake, on and off for 2 years. He was 28, old enough to know how to treat people with respect, or so I thought. This weekend was supposed to be a milestone, a 2-hour drive to meet his parents for the very first time. I wanted to make a good impression. I dressed carefully, but approachably, and even picked up a bouquet of flowers for his mom. But the second I handed them to him outside the door, Jake smirked. He scoffed like it was some corny cliche. That sting in my chest should have been a red flag. His parents, on the other hand, were warm and welcoming. His mom's face lit up when I handed her the flowers. She hugged me. His dad shook my hand, and they ushered us into the living room. His parents each took their own chairs, and Jake and I sat on the couch together. That's when things started to unravel. For 2 hours, I chatted with his parents. I asked about their hobbies, their family traditions, even their favorite travel spots. His mom's eyes sparkled when she talked about her garden. His dad cracked gentle jokes that made me laugh. But Jake, he barely spoke. Instead, he scrolled on Instagram, then Facebook. At one point, I glanced over, and his head was tilted back, eyes closed, like he was napping. Right there, while I was trying to impress his family, every time I laughed with his parents, a part of me burned with humiliation. My inner voice whispered, "Why am I the only one trying? Why does he make me feel like I'm auditioning for a part he doesn't care about?" I saw it in his parents' faces too. They exchanged glances, lips pressed tight. They were polite, but I could feel their disappointment not in me, but in him. That evening, we joined his parents' friends for dinner. The atmosphere was lively, filled with laughter, stories, and clinking glasses. Everyone was delightful, except Jake. Again, he pulled out his phone mid-conversation, scrolling like he was the only person in the room. His mom actually leaned over at one point and whispered, "Jake, say please, say thank you." Like he was a child who had never been taught basic manners. I wanted to crawl under the table.
And yet, I kept my phone tucked away in my purse. I engaged. I listened. I laughed. For 4 hours, I carried myself with grace while the man, who was supposed to be my partner, acted like a sulky teenager. The next morning, I woke up in his old bedroom at his parents' house. My plan: freshen up, say goodbye with gratitude, and head home with my dignity intact. But when I turned to look at Jake, my jaw dropped. He was about to walk out the door, leaving the bed unmade. Dirty towels tossed on the floor, clothes scattered everywhere, like his parents' home was a hotel and his mom was his maid. I felt disgusted, not just at the mess. A man who doesn't respect his parents, a man who doesn't respect me, a man who doesn't respect himself. And suddenly, something clicked in my chest. That heavy ache I'd been carrying for 2 years, the on-again, off-again drama, the way he never seemed fully I wasn't going to nag. I wasn't going to plead. I wasn't even going to yell. I was going to do something far worse. I quietly picked up his towels. I made the bed. I folded his clothes, not for him, but for his parents, because they deserved respect. Then, when breakfast was served, I smiled warmly at his mom and dad. I thanked them sincerely for their hospitality. I made eye contact. I shook hands. I let them know, with every word and gesture, that I appreciated them. And I did it all while Jake scrolled through his phone, oblivious. After breakfast, I packed my things. I hugged his parents goodbye, and I could feel his mom's grip linger. It was like she knew. I slid into my car, started the engine, and watched Jake in the rearview mirror. He hadn't even noticed I was gone. That was the sweetest revenge of all. Because when I drove away, I wasn't just leaving their house, I was leaving him. That day, I blocked his number, deleted him from social media. No dramatic text, no angry phone call, just silence. And you know what? Within hours, the missed calls started, the desperate texts. Where did you go? Are you mad? Why aren't you answering me? For once, he was the one scrambling for my attention. He was the one carrying the weight of silence. And I didn't have to lift a finger. Sometimes revenge doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be messy. Sometimes the most powerful revenge is simply walking away and letting someone choke on the emptiness they created. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and subscribe for more. And I want to hear from you. What's the funniest or most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? Drop it in the comments below. Who knows? Your story might be the next one we share.